we're online now, so no more
Yes.
talking about that sex stuff.
Yeah.
That sex stuff.
The
That
3.5 book of erotica. It exists. It's out
Yes,
there.
it does.
This episode brought to you by Android for Genesis system. So does anybody like cyberpunk in the room?
Of course, everyone.
I am so
Anyone
sad.
seeing Adelina this weekend?
He's young. He's young.
He's young.
He's young. He has time to learn.
It's okay.
He needs to be educated. So everybody, since we have a new member at the table, I have Oz, he's gonna live and y'all gonna die. Go around the
That's how that
table and
happens.
introduce yourselves and your characters. So
Hey, why aren't you wearing your jacket? It's cold in here.
I've been wearing the jacket all day. It's nice.
Cold in here.
Pass that down in case
Cold
Artemis
outside
needs
everywhere.
paper.
This is for you to take notes. I have an extra pencil.
I've got a couple of them. Plus I can give him a pen in case he gets bored.
I colored pencils.
Well, fine then. Be that way.
This is an odd competition.
Is it?
Weird flex. But
In case you need a pencil. Or,
Is it weird for normal people or weird for this group?
yes.
That's what I thought.
Uh-oh, you got a squeaky chair.
like, you'll have to think of a name for your character.
What was it? Ars Magica? The one that's right there.
Nice.
Okay.
And they're coming-
edition and pre-order.
And they're coming out with a new edition.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they just released on Drive-Thru RPG a free go of their quick start rules.
Yeah.
I
So
kind
there's.
Are they still doing,
There's a book of wizards, and one of the characters and one of
are
the
they still
stories
basically doing
is
everybody is
Sharp
one
Sight,
group of wizards and they
but I
alternate
decided to
GMing?
alter
Yeah.
it
Okay,
a
so
little bit
nice.
since I'm okay.
Yeah, they have two of the
Alright.
mythic perspectives.
Artist has come up with his
From
character's name.
So Artemis, who's your character and what's his name?
Maybe we should have somebody else
Okay.
start. I'll start. My name is Kelly, and I am playing the human mechanic engineer, Esme Electrosparks. Blah blah. AKA Scrapper.
Sparky.
Sparky. Apparently, I've been renamed Sparky.
It was Scrappa last time.
Scrapper.
It'll rotate every two
Yeah.
every 2 sessions.
It depends if you're fixing things, scrapping things, or things are blowing up.
What's the last thing you did? That's it right there.
Probably blew something up.
Okay.
So Artemis, what about your character?
We
My
waited for you to
character
eat.
is Sharpshot the Crossbowman.
Ah. So since this is a steampunk setting, is it like a regular crossbow or is it like some cool high tech? Got a canister of air so it looks like a rifle but shoots long arrows out.
Very sharp arrows.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be
And also
making
the ears
some.
move really, really fast. So
And we've been collaborating on gonna be making in some
I'm hearing-
exploding arrows.
Yeah, I'm hearing Gauss rifle. That's what I'm hearing.
And you're just hearing.
No, you don't hear anything. Those mouths move faster than sound.
Now, do you only do hand crossbow or like can you work our big ship guns too?
He can do gunnery.
He does have gunnery.
Good.
Oh,
Because
good.
none of us do.
I got one.
He's
I
multifaceted.
just got one.
and also, can I have like the back of my crossbow to be kind of like a sword, so that if I manage to get myself into a melee combat area, I can actually attack?
I can make it.
Well,
She's
you
the
would-
one.
I think that'd be a little
would-
uncomfortable
you
if
would-
the back of
awkward.
if it's
You
not
would want
with a
the
sword.
back
'Cause, you know,
of-
you just.
Yeah.
Oh no,
you
I
would want
stabbed
the back
myself.
of it to be it
No,
because you have to
like,
brace
like,
yourself.
like a
But think of it this
like a
way.
kind of sword that goes up when I'm not battling melee, but
There you
goes
Well,
down.
or think about
when
it this
I'm
way.
battling
What
melee.
about, since you're holding it like this anyway, how about making the edges of the crossbow sharp
Oh, yeah,
so that you
kind
can
of-
swing them like a
oh,
like
so
a
kind
pick?
of like an axe.
Just a bayonet.
Yeah.
Crossbow
I can
axe.
do that.
Okay.
It's like, we're gonna come up with some weird weapons, Artemis. It's gonna look like Donatello's outfitting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's gonna be great. My name is Eric. My character is Aaron, and he is the mutant
He's
psyker
insane.
Aethomancer who is the best at everything forever. The end.
Bloody crazy.
There's nothing that he has done wrong yet.
It's a very creative man.
Yes.
I am Joseph. I am playing Jack Hyde, the mongrel, the person who can turn into a beast man and just beat stuff up. I am also the group doctor.
AKA the
Sometimes.
Demon of Zanzibar.
And pilot.
Yes, and pilot.
And I eventually become the pilot, I guess.
Because the current pilot is opiate drunk.
AKA 8 Men of Zanzibar.
You started off as a doctor, and you are literally known for anything but being a doctor.
I'm a fantastic pilot.
Wait. The coffee potions are something that is doctory that he's known for.
That's
That
alchemy,
is
not
true.
doctoring.
Well, yeah, you're a great barista. Congratulations.
I am Jack Hyde, the barista pilot murderer.
Also known
Also
as the
Doctor.
Doctor of Brew.
Can we move on?
Jeez, relax your face.
He did this to me.
I helped. So,
Okay.
my name is Scott. My character's name is Peter. He is an aristocrat with a unknown, mysterious background.
Ooh.
He is the faceman, negotiator, and public negotiator for this merry band of
Merry's
soon-to-be-
strong.
soon-to-be
Misfits.
misfits.
Mary's a strong word.
He means married because he just got that.
No.
And all of my marriages have been fake so far.
So you think so far?
No. There actually hasn't been any crazy. We've just been telling people. Although I suppose there are countries where if you say you're married, you are married. And we might have actually been in one of those.
I'm
So-
assuming Hilda could have forged the papers of maybe well enough that it's legal somewhere.
It's legal somewhere.
It's legal.
Honestly, what isn't?
It's legal somewhere, and that's how we thought it.
Honestly, she's got a whole lot more money than I do, so I'd take half of her.
Well,
You
apparently Sharpshot was a stowaway
That was found in a
that
barrel.
I
that was
found
supposed
in
to
a
have
barrel
butter.
of butter.
A barrel of
Wait,
butter!
Butter.
Oh my butter!
Could
No,
he
the
have been a
barrel was
survivor
actually
from the
empty
crash?
and there were
Well,
barrels that
perhaps
just
he is a
empty for
survivor,
butter.
but
What
he's
did you do
stowed
with his
away.
butter?
Okay, yes.
Because
the
you
butter
were
was in
taking
water barrels.
the
It was-
wreckage to get the
wreckage-
crate.
The
Right,
barrel
so
was
while
empty
we
when I
were
called it.
investigating the crate, he snuck onto our
And I
ship.
sometimes
Yeah.
use
Because
them
apparently
for
lots
oral.
of people can sneak onto
And
our
Why,
sometimes I
ship.
it
just
smells
read
like
them
popcorn.
Security?
Like,
Is that why
why
you
does the
think it
ice
smells like
cream
popcorn?
smell like popcorn?
Despite the fact that one of the things that our ship is best at is any of us who are in it can spot things really well while we're near it. We are still amazingly blindsided.
Everyone waits for you to get out of short range of your ship to
Oh,
sneak
to
on.
sneak on, okay.
They wait till they see you at a distance and then they sneak on.
Oh, actually, that reminds me. There is a talent called fancy paint job,
Yes.
Yes.
where I get to do my stuff better if I'm near the ship
With your fancy paint
with
job.
my fancy
Yes.
paint job.
Unfortunately,
However,
we this guy is the
I
ship.
don't know if I need to take a tier 1 as part of the fancy ship and then tier 2 fancy paint job, or if I can go
I have
straight
You,
fancy paint
you
job
can
as
do
well.
multiple times. Each time you buy it, it upgrades the.
Well,
the
no.
account.
Fancy paint job says that you have to have the ship first, and I
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
know if you
yeah.
have to have
Upgrade-
the exact talent.
Fancy paint job upgrades all charm,
She actually
deception,
has it.
negotiation checks in the presence of the vehicle once per session.
Yeah,
Right.
and it specifically references the signature vehicle of the
Yes.
tech. I'm used to the tech in the Star
Yeah.
Wars game.
Yeah.
So you can actually change that too if you have another ship or your ship.
You
So
can
like
upgrade
say
to a
you
new ship.
have
Yeah.
like say we have a
Okay.
gyrocopter.
Uh-huh.
The
That-
way the rules read, I wasn't sure if I needed to get a tier 1 as
With
I
Star
get to
Wars
get
you do, but with Genesis you don't.
Oh, okay.
You're free to take it without the.
Okay.
If it was Star Wars, yes, you would have to do
Okay,
it
so
Star
I
Wars
have an
is-
open
in a
tier
pattern
2
system.
slot, How much experience is a tier 2 slot?
Tier 2 is 10 experience.
Oh, okay.
So basically at the very, very bottom.
Okay.
Now remember, you have to go this way just like
Right,
you are,
I
and
have
then
an
that
open.
way.
I
Yep.
have an open slot.
So perfect.
Okay. So.
So
can I get
basic.
fancy paint
So
job?
she does have fancy paint job already.
Yeah, but he wants it to increase his.
Well, that's just for her.
Yeah.
You can get it as well.
Okay.
You guys, went together on the fancy
This
paint
airship
job.
is gonna have one paint job on one side and one paint job on the other. Both of them fancy,
Oh, okay,
both
there
of
it
them
is.
entirely different colors.
There's
I missed
only
that.
one paint
It's
job
okay.
on this ship,
on most
and
of our
it's
character
mine.
sheets, those are cut off in printing.
We were talking about the Lego
He's just
movie
riding off
before.
my.
It's gonna look like that submarine that they all built individually together.
Well, at one
Leon.
point, Peter's like, the paint job would look better if you would pick this color scheme, and you guys work together on the upgraded paint job.
My paint is
Because
uranium.
whereas you like the rust on the
No, we
bulkheads.
did a pretty good job of coming up with the whole coordinated lights, and because I mean,
And the
we did
bunting.
that- and the bunting was very fancy.
That was more.
And the coil of lights I swung down upon.
We were
Pop, pop, pop,
epic.
pop, pop, pop,
We
pop.
were great.
Germany has not seen the like.
Yeah.
And nor
And
will
no
they ever again,
pyrotechnics
hopefully.
display.
Oh,
Stunning.
they'll see it again in Oktoberfest.
Please no.
Only they expect more.
Okay.
Well, with a bit of time, I can arrange that.
And how many assassins will be murdered in Berlin at that time?
I don't know how many are gonna shoot at us from the
Negotiation
rooftop.
charm,
The answer is clones.
negotiation charm,
And deception.
and deception.
Because your fancy
Oh,
paint
and
job
negotiation.
What's
distracts
better
Charm,
the-
deception, negotiation.
for a sequel than having the Ape Man of Zanzibar fight two half-sized clones of himself?
His mini
And
me.
is it an increase or an decrease in difficulty? Or what is it?
Hold on.
It gives you a boost.
It upgrades your check. So basically, you give turns a green into a yellow.
Okay, so one upgrade
Uh-huh.
and once per game.
Once per session.
So one really cool thing with the Genesis system is you'll have on your character the green and yellow dice she explained. There's a mechanic that the whole team can use called your destiny points or story points, depending on which version of the game you're playing. So for you guys, you each get a destiny point.
Bum, bum, bum.
Humans, we get 2.
Oh, so he
Well,
has
no,
to
you
pick-
can steal
so-
one. Remember?
Right.
Your thing is
Well,
you can
but he
steal.
has to pick what type of person he is, right?
Did you want to go with a basic human to make things easier for yourself?
Or you wanted to be a cyborg?
No, not a cyborg.
Oh,
Just human this time.
just human? Okay.
And then once you get horribly accidentally dismembered by fire tentacles, then we can build things
Again
on
with the tentacle.
You're
So-
terrifying.
I am a cleric of tentacle fire.
Anybody at the table, you
You're not
guys
cleric
can
to
use
me.
the
Yeah,
left
that's
side
actually the class.
to make your dice pull better. So say you're rolling this for your dice, you can spend one of these, which turns into that, and turn this into one of the better
You want
dice.
the yellows.
Yellows
The
are the good
best.
dice,
They give
'cause
you more chance.
They're the
to
only ones that have the
succeed.
really cool natural 20 something.
Ether bombs.
These guys are okay, but these guys are fantastic. So anytime you can spend one of these, even if like, say you see Scott making a roll and you're like, Scott, we can't fail.
You can pull it for somebody else.
You can flip it and say, upgrade your
That's
roll.
Like if Scott's making omelets in the morning, I want my omelets to be really good. Or sometimes, if someone's trying to, has to not die.
Nobody wants to have a black dice the rest of the day because you ate eggshells.
Yes.
In the air.
Yes.
For some reason, the exploding arrows also work great to make omelets.
Actually, that's what this is for.
Mm-hmm.
If you get
Well,
a triumph on your roll.
How about this? I make an exploding arrow that's got a
First one in
pepper
session.
spray in it, so when it explodes, it salts and peppers your
I'm a cleric
omelet at
of
the
fire
same
and
time.
Yeah, but that's if I'm cooking an omelet. And it would also work well on enemies because the pepper spray goes in their
I
eyes.
can make pepper spray, I can make exploding
I
arrows,
want you-
I can make poison arrows.
I want you to be a crossbowman/chef.
And
We don't have a
Specializes
cook.
in
Yes.
shish kebab.
Yet.
Shish kebabs. Yeah.
Yeah, can you also
Cooking
make
the
healing
alchemy?
arrows so that I can
The
heal
cooking uses
everyone?
alchemy as an
I mean,
example.
in the same
I
way that
can't do
cooking
it.
is chemistry
No,
in the lab.
Now,
It is
actually,
not-
wait a minute. Can I make stim packs?
You mean like in the new book? That
Or
would
no,
be
just
more-
the healing.
Well, he
pack.
wants me to make healing arrows.
No, that's
So that would be your alchemist. and mad scientist.
Yeah.
Can
She'll
you-
probably have to make the syringe though.
Yeah, I can do that if you can supply the
The big old turkey baster needle.
I'm gonna shoot you
Don't worry.
to heal you!
Liquid will heal you.
It's a needle made out of double-aught gauge wire.
No,
It's
no, no.
like that thicker. I was like,
No,
"Ah."
it's like a little ball-ended arrow that has healing stuff on it, so that it doesn't harm us, but it still.
But is
Why am I imagining
Oh,
an
like a
arrow with
water
like a
balloon
boxing
with a
glove on the end of it?
But is it organic?
But with a red cross.
I don't know GMOs.
No pure modified organisms.
I'm a mutant. I've got more
No, it's
GMOs.
not. Wait, it's not GMO. It's an MMO, or actually an AMO. It's an
So you're not an HMO!
It's an ether modified
Honestly
organism.
though, healing delivered by shooting something with an arrow sounds like an HMO.
Overwatch. There's a sniper that if she shoots a friend, it heals. She shoots a bad guy, it hurts. Smart bullets.
Alright,
Okay, so
let's see what we can do.
where last we left off, you guys had gotten
Yes.
the giant crate onto the ship and you started taking off into the desert landscape
Towards
towards
Quintessence.
the city of Quintessence that's inside the giant maelstrom storm that's perpetually
Yes.
going ever since the A
I
bomb.
thought we were right
Yeah, I
outside.
thought
we were
right
going
outside.
into
We
the
were
storm.
going-
Yeah, we
Yeah,
were
to go
going
into the storm. Yeah.
And then our captain fell asleep. Which is great. We're gonna do fine. So we are going to this floating city that's in the middle of this horrible storm, and none of
It's
us
like
really
home.
know what we're doing. So yes.
Miles above the surface.
Yeah.
So basically, like
It's a
one of
floating
those
city.
arrows that can like hold on to stuff and have a rope.
Oh, and
so
let's
that
not
you
even
can
get
also-
and let's not even get to the Frenchman who sent us on this quest.
Dirty Frenchman.
Hey, they're part of the British Empire right now.
It's a
Right
giant
now.
floating city inside
Still
a giant
French.
hurricane of purple and pink clouds whipping around with blue lightning.
Yes.
It's very pretty.
I've got an idea.
Yes. This is how they get you though.
There you go. You can see the picture.
When you start looking at the pretty things instead of aethering.
And that's when the scary thing comes shadowing behind your ship, and you're like, tentacles!
Yeah, but
That's just Eric.
That's just sorry. Yeah. Should have been paying more attention to myself.
And
Knock
then
it off, Aaron!
And then he's got his giant spotlight going, what? Shadow puppet tentacles.
This is how you get in. It's the secret handshake.
Batmobile.
All I'm saying is, if they think we're being chased by horrible shadow tentacles, nobody's gonna come rob us.
You got a point.
He does have a point.
So as
Nobody except everyone in the city of Quintessence.
Yeah, they're just watching. They're like, "Oh, Aaron's back."
Not this guy.
So as you guys are heading there, is there anything you guys did a la flashback style on your way there? Give you guys a chance. Like
She found him.
find
Yeah, she
I found
me
him in the butter barrel.
One
So,
barrel of butter
the,
out of 7.
The industrial butter barrel, though.
now the question, are they gonna nickname
bad
you
butter.
Butterbean or Butterboy?
Butterboy.
Actually, that's a good question. Artemis, is your character a boy or a girl? It's a male? Alright.
Or undecided, as most animes would say.
That would be androgynous.
Undecided. Androgynous. So, Artemis, how did you find yourself in a butter barrel?
Well, while you guys were gone, I noticed that there was a bunch of barrels of butter laying on the ground for some reason, and I
Industrial.
Just,
Yeah.
yeah. And then I just crawled into one because it looked nice enough, and it was empty also. So I had like a
Was-
pillow in there also.
Was there a reason why you were trying to get away? Because it sounds like maybe someone was after you and you were trying to get out of wherever we were.
Did you survive the shipwreck that they went to? Because they were at a shipwreck where they took this box out of the ground.
We were totally paying attention to the box instead of
Yeah,
paying
you guys
attention
were
to
working on, do we magic it
We
up? Do
actually
we...
scrapped
We
the whole
actually
bunch.
have a delivery of butter to Quintessence as well.
This is demon butter, but it's okay.
We said, the people in
There
Quintessence
were
They
want
need butter.
very evil
We thought there were
tried
7
to kill
barrels.
me.
There's 6 in him.
We better bring him some
They killed my
butter.
Yes.
Oh no!
After I learned how to skillfully use the crossbow,
Your parents probably taught you how to use
Well,
that crossbow.
did your parents teach you, or were you in the army and they taught you?
Did we ever resolve if
my parents
the character
did.
was a
Oh, okay.
girl?
He went with boy.
Alright, because either way, it would be butter being.
Yeah.
He's a cute little bean.
Okay.
A butter bean.
Kind
So-
of like
Not a
this
bean.
picture.
Nice. I like the part in the center.
Yes.
It's the city.
Uh-huh.
Since you're going to a city.
Yeah.
See on my quick drawing, I
That's
didn't go
what
that
I
far.
live.
into
These
it.
wizards do seem like they would be the ones to have spires on their floating city. Because
Yeah.
it's not good enough if you're
It's
just
not
I
tall.
also like how they're kind of
How
tentacle spires
they're not
too. So
supposed
he's
to.
catching on.
Yeah.
really
Oh, they
fast.
gotta be really wavy.
That's
Yeah.
spires. That's
Ah.
gruesome on my picture.
The
He's got a
cinder
dot.
spires.
Yeah.
Okay, so your parents are killed, and you stowed away on our ship because you saw that as an escape from the people that were hunting you.
Yeah,
This
so-
is-
Little did he know.
Little did you know that they were probably safer than wherever what we're gonna do. But forward.
So there's this scene where Scrapper opens up
more
the
of the
barrel
Greek?
and out you pop with your crossbow. I could just see her opening the lid and the arrow comes out first.
No. I'm so surprised that I forget to get my crossbow out
Were,
until
were
I
you
actually
sleeping maybe?
remember. Yeah,
Because
I
you
was,
said you brought the pillow.
yeah, I brought a pillow so that I could actually rest. And then when I noticed someone opened the barrel, I was all like, ah!
You know,
And my character has glasses.
he brought a pillow onto a stowaway barrel.
He was
That's
prepared.
that's long-term thinking
He's
there.
more prepared than any of us have been for anything that we have done in character.
I'm not 100% sure we even have any pillows on this airship.
We do now.
Wait.
Hey,
It's
Mr.
been
Steve,
firmly
is that a
established
way-
that me and
Well,
Hilda have
because-
pillows.
You stole. You brought
Now
them
you
all
know
from
where
the rest
all
of
the
us.
pillows have gone.
Hey, maybe these people had a system to like keep them safe from very snowy blizzards. Like
Oh
they-
yeah, no,
Ah.
they
that's
had
called
blizzards
magic.
very
That's
common.
what we're hoping that's the case because these are a bunch of magic users and maybe the storm is their doing or maybe it's natural, but they're the only ones that
Oh, it's
have a floating
not
city.
natural.
It's natural for
It's
us.
remnants from the ether bomb that
It's-
went off.
It's made out of natural flavors.
It's made out of the bone dust
Natural
of
and
millions of people who
artificial.
died when Budapest was blown up.
Yeah. Wait, which part is
What's
Budapest?
Budapest?
Buda or Pest?
Budapest is a city or
There's a giant
in
lake
this
down
world-
there now.
We've
In this
used that
world,
joke at least
it's,
6 times.
it used to be a city.
It's
It's
still
someone
used.
dropped the magical equivalent of a nuclear bomb on it.
Our A bomb stands for aether or ether.
Yes.
So it's you guys do the
Pretty sure we
montage
transported
of
at least
you've
one.
discovered.
So what do? You're the one that discovered the sleeping person that's not butter. You can't believe. Oh, what was his name? Fabio.
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 No, sharp top.
Yeah. Sharp shot is certainly what he sells himself as.
Well, I'm certainly going to
Or razor
call a
sharp.
crew meeting.
Meeting in the engine room.
Town meeting.
We're now at half butter rations. We didn't have as much butter as we thought we
Oh.
I refuse to serve under these conditions.
Half butter rations. Well, the good news is that Quintessence has butter. It's made out of prisoners' souls, but we have butter, and it's vegan.
Alright, but like, how fat were the prisoners?
12.
Before or
It's
after
it's
the
ether math question. How fat were the workers? 12.
If you know ether, Mancy, okay. It's just...
It all works out in your head when you burn out the synapses. Don't worry, the ether will make new pathways in your head. It'll look like that horrible bored out cheese. Okay, so was there any other special
answer to
things you
how-
guys were doing on your way there?
The answer to half cup were the
I am making arrows for our new crew member.
Okay, so there's this horrible shrieking sound as you're using the grinder to make little arrows that are perfectly straight. That's nice. It's got the lightning rod on top.
Okay,
No,
so
no,
wait,
this-
I insist.
This is a watchtower so that they know when anyone's coming.
Sharp chat. I insist that if we think that we're actually going to take you aboard as the crew, you have to prove to us that you can actually shoot things well.
So like like to just put a bunch of dummies out?
Well, no, we're gonna have you go up to this.
Because they have target buoys.
I was going to suggest that I think he might be the most perceptive of all of us too. And
Can my arrows also go through more than one person?
probably
Like I
not
can shoot 3
normally.
people
Not
at
yet.
one
Depends
arrow?
if they're minions
But
or not.
but I think he's probably the most perceptive person here. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't remember going through this storm before.
You just kind of woke up on the other side.
There's someone else driving.
Just like now.
How good are you guys at wanting to stand up at the crow's nest? I know, we have volunteers.
He can. I'm gonna be staying in the engine.
Inside the middle of the ship.
As
So I
far
should be
from the
shooting
storm as
close?
possible.
Because
Do you wanna give me-
safety is one of my big background things.
So I would say you definitely have some target buoys that you shoot out, and they're basically floating balloons that will shoot out a good distance. You know, sort of like shooting on your yacht,
Yeah.
shooting out volleyballs.
And,
shooting
and
out-
this way he can see how he actually shoots
Exactly.
something.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the group basically Scrapper is going to help you out. She sets up a target launcher for you that shoots out 3 buoys. And of course, they go flying out at 3 different distances because she made sure to do one short range, medium range, and long range. Just to give you an idea, so for the dice, 1 purple is for short range, 2 is for medium, and 3 is for long range. So basically, you scamper up there. I'm assuming Peter will show you how the gun works to make sure you're up to date with the modern artillery of the Airship Gallivant.
Updated. We got that updated.
Yep.
So doesn't he get a blue because we got don't we have the advanced gun?
Yes, you do.
There you go.
See, he used to be the gunner. He knows these things.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
We got that because I was so bad we needed the extra blue.
okay.
sometimes the best toys do help improve your skills.
So this right here is your skill at this. Your agility gives you 3 dice, and then your training turns 2 of those dice yellow because you're pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And because the gun is really nice, it also gives you a blue. Now he's going to tell you how hard this is going to be. So you said it was 1 purple for short range?
Yep, 1 purple for short range.
So the first shot you're going to do is going to be at short range. So you roll all those dice together.
Well, actually, I was going to ask,
Oh.
because you're up here on the airship, there's the 3 buoys. Which one do you want to shoot at first?
Yeah, that's a good
Closest
question.
one or the furthest one?
Closest first.
Okay.
We're going to try for the first.
So that's going to be 1 purple. Now, one thing you can do as well is aim. So if you use your maneuver to aim, you can add a blue dice for you to kind of to line up the
I highly
sights.
recommend aiming.
Aiming is a good thing.
Would you like to aim at it? So normally during
Just
the
like an
turn,
extra
you get a
something.
couple of actions. One is a bigger action, one's a smaller action. And as one of your actions, you can just look down and make sure you're looking at the right
Really
thing.
line up
And
those
it,
sights.
and it gives you 1 extra die to roll. Would you like to? Okay.
Because the blue die is a good
So
die.
aiming and shooting?
Yep. So you aimed, and now you're taking your second action to shoot.
Oh, that
Dice
was a blank.
Oh,
Oh my god.
So you got a few blanks, but that's not a bad thing. Where's the other
So
yellow?
where's the other?
I
There-
only
there we
have
go.
this and also this. Wait.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
were them. So you, how many successes do you have, Artemis?
And remember,
1.
Artemis, these
wait,
dice
1,
here show
2.
you which ones take care of which ones.
Yeah.
You didn't get any negatives.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all
So
good.
you have 2 successes, and how many advantages do you have?
3.
Nice. So literally the first one, you both are up there watching him as he just lines up the sights, and the first buoy explodes.
Wait, can it be all like, since I got it so well, like
Mhm.
all 3 of them?
Not yet.
Well,
not with this.
No.
But you
But-
have 3 advantages. How would you like to spend those advantages?
So you can spend them in a few different ways. What I might recommend to make your next roll look even cooler is the 3 extra advantages give you 3 extra die, because maybe you were just feeling that like the gun fired perfectly and you're feeling really in tune with the gun.
And your confidence is boosted.
Exactly. So so the next one you're just it fired exactly where you wanted to. It just happened to be sighted the way that it's perfect for you.
So like I basically got all 3 of them.
Or no.
Well,
so
you got
so
the
now you're gonna
first
shoot
one.
again
Mhm.
for the second one. That's a
So,
little bit harder.
2 greens, 2 purples, right?
So
Basically, it's the same dice pool,
It's
except
the-
you're adding the blue because with advantage you get to spend them to do things. In this case,
No, he gets the
So-
3.
Yeah,
well, he
3
gets the
blues.
one for the gun.
Right.
So this is
Yeah,
the
one
base
for the
pool,
gun.
and now he used 3 advantages to give himself extra die. But
the
This one's
difficulty is
slightly
because this
further.
buoy is a little further
or
away.
do you want to go for the furthest one?
First I'll do the slightly further.
Okay, so you're going to the second one. Now
But-
you roll those.
But here, because I'm
All
a
of them?
jerk,
Hold on.
I'm a jerk. The wind picks up just as you're getting ready
Oh,
to take
no.
that shot,
Oh,
and I'm gonna
he's
spend my dark side because that's what I get to spend.
So
And
you can
turn that
change
purple
one of
into
those
a
purples
red,
to a
which makes it
red.
a lot more dangerous.
Yes. However,
It just means that all of a sudden a gust of wind came out of nowhere and it's making life a little more difficult for you or interesting.
However, you can still do what you did last time and aim at that target for another blue die. Do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah.
Aim
Okay.
is always good.
Don't fling the die. Try to keep it near you.
Still pretty hard, so it's kind of hard to do
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Mhm. Narrative dice tend to want
Oh,
to
roll
run.
this one. Roll this one.
Oh,
Okay.
that's a pretty good roll.
Okay,
So-
so now
And
let him.
Yeah.
So go ahead and
So
punch
I
this
this
only
one
one.
got
apart.
2 of those, and this cancels out that.
Yep,
That is
perfect.
correct.
That's
So
exactly
I've got
right.
advantage.
So how many
Where's the red?
successes do you have?
Where's the
3.
which
Oh,
one
where
was
did your
it?
red one go?
I
Oh,
think
it
it
rolled
was.
right back in.
Oh.
It's fine.
It wanted to go back into its home.
3.
So hold on. You have to cancel these out. Nice.
So
1 success.
That's all
And
you
how
need for
many
a hit.
advantages?
3.
So for
Very
3
nice.
advantages, would you like to crit on this buoy to make sure it explodes?
Can
So-
I get like both of this one since I have so many?
No, no,
Well,
no. Not yet.
usually
You can still do a little better.
advantage, like if you guys have a modified gun that's got 2 barrels, you could have the second gun shoot for 2 advantage. But in this case, the way Scrapper shot out those buoys, she purposely made sure it was going to be a skill test.
Yeah.
Because she wants to test you as the newest member of the crew. So she wants to make sure you have to take each shot in turn.
Okay,
So
so
you
I-
can use 3 advantage to make sure that that shot does something critically, like it.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Or you can take the 3 advantage and,
And the
do the same
success-
thing you did
the
beforehand,
success, what do
so
I
that
do
way
with
your
it?
next shot's better.
Mm-hmm.
The success means you hit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the success is your shot hit its target.
So
The
that's good.
advantage means something cool happens as well.
Yeah.
Well,
So you did essentially you rolled well enough that you did what you wanted it to, and that was to hit that target.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going on to the next one. Do you want to use your advantage to give you the extra die like you did with the last shot, or do you want to make sure that it explodes?
advantage.
Okay.
Advantage is the best bang for your buck.
Okay. So we'll be rolling the same die pool, but 1 more purple,
Yep.
but
total
1
of
less red.
3 purple.
And I'm gonna spend one of these to
Oh,
upgrade one of
so
the
so
greens
your
to a
teammate wants to turn your green
There you go.
into a yellow because he's like, I know he's got to make this shot. We
Yeah.
have faith in him.
So we're gonna see how well you do.
All of a sudden, you know what it is while you're on the crow's nest of the
We're
ship.
cheering you
You're
on.
hearing through the talking tube the doctor who's on the steering wheel saying, "That
Aim
was
high.
that was a great shot, kid."
Good job. Yeah, people. Let's see how you do. This is the hardest one.
So
Alright.
basically, I just canceled out all.
So count them up. You got these 2 are the negatives.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
what does this one do?
That's a threat.
That's uncanceled.
This one is not canceled. But how many successes do you have left over?
3.
Mhm.
4.
Yeah,
4
successes and 1 threat.
You explode the last target because you succeeded. You aimed for it, you took a breath, and you fired just as the ship rocked and came up and blew it up. But you would take what's called strain, because on your character you've got wounds and strain. So you would take 1 point of strain because you know what it was you were doing so good. You're kind of worried that you're afraid of failing in front of these guys. So you kind of strain is a way of saying you stressed. There's a little bead of sweat that came down because you were getting nervous that you weren't going to show off so well. But you were amazing. So you stressed
He's a lot
for
better.
no reason, just like in real life. You stress for no reason.
So
He's a lot better shot than I am.
Hmm?
Strain. So put 1 tick mark under strain.
Okay.
But the beauty is you can easily get strain back by using your advantages.
You can spend
one
advantages
advantage
to
will let you recover.
Because basically it means you're taking a quick breath and you're getting
Wait,
your.
is it this an advantage?
That is correct.
Mm-hmm.
Can
But-
I use a
But
success?
that one was canceled out because of these, right?
I know.
Yeah,
Can
so
I
like
use
the
a
next time you
success?
do a roll and you get, no, you can't use success
No.
for it.
So the next time we do anything, or maybe if you get a chance to rest before we go into the horrible storm of horribleness, maybe you'll get rid of some of that strain. But for the most part, you did really well. You hit all the targets
You
first
did
time through.
incredible. 3
Mhm.
shots and only 1
Yeah.
strain.
Yeah.
Strain's not a big deal. You
Yeah.
can get rid of strain by just taking a nap.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
So-
I can take a nap right now?
Probably not
Well,
right now
not
because
while
we
you're
have
in
a
the
job that we
process.
need to do.
I'm glad I impressed you
No,
guys.
we're
Now
not
I'm going
there.
to take a
We're
nap.
not-
Power nap.
We're
Oh
not
my
here
God.
yet, though.
Uh-huh.
So after you shoot and before we get there, you can have a nap and get rid of the strain.
Mhm.
So, nap,
So we've
erase.
We've had this montage as you guys were approaching. Discovered you had your new mascot for the ship, who is absolutely deadly and impressed Peter with his weaponry skills,
Mhm.
and
So-
impressed our impromptu Doctor Captain.
Doctor
Oh.
Captain.
Doctor Captain.
That is
Doctor
actually
Captain.
Doctor.
true.
Doctor Captain.
Doctor.
That is true.
Doctor Captain. Doctor.
So
Doctor
for
Captain,
our
Doctor.
Ethermancer,
All right.
give me a discipline roll again. There's these mysterious discipline rolls that keep asking.
What's your
What happened last
what's
time
your
you failed?
agility?
What am I
What's your
rolling against?
agility?
It's going to be against a
Alright,
red
then
and
you do
two
it.
purple.
AG.
His
Your
agility
agility.
will
Oh,
be
2.
will be 3
Three?
because he wants to be more of a shooter than a
Okay.
fighter. So these two numbers are going to be the other way around.
So I'm less broad.
So you're
Yeah.
better
Does-
with you're
Does
more.
anyone other than the doctor have an agility of 3?
I have it.
Hold it.
I have.
I mean, being fair,
I have
mine's
an
only 3
agility
when
of
I'm.
3.
No, mine
Oh,
is
really?
he's only
He's
got
hulked
2.
out. Yeah.
Oh,
otherwise.
okay.
Yeah, he's mild mannered when he's not hulked
Because
out.
we
Is there
need
a mix
a we need a
for
backup pilot.
We're good.
Actually, I'm a backup pilot.
Oh, okay.
She's a
didn't realize
backup
that.
and the backup for the backup of the engineer.
What am I rolling against?
Because you're the engineer and the backup engineer. So it's going to be against a red and 2 purple for discipline. As all of a sudden you're taking
No,
in.
actually, my
Well,
character's
actually-
already making them for you.
Really quick,
Huh?
the
Oh,
kid.
it's a drawing
kid?
of
One of the
D&D
things that
characters.
that I'm doing
She's a
on
bard,
the
a
trip
half-elf
Uh-huh.
bard.
is I'm having him
Oh,
spend
bard,
time
I
at
think
each major
the loot.
station,
And
and I want to see what he seems to be good at.
he seems that navigating is the thing he likes the best.
Yeah. Okay.
He seems fairly with weapons, but he actually is pretty good with the idea of navigation.
I think the glasses actually helped me
Okay.
with that. Like the glasses gave me basically an advantage at it.
So
But
Your discipline roll is you're taking in the pure ether storm happening.
1 threat, 4 advantage.
1 threat for advantage or for success?
For success.
Okay.
Yeah, 1 threat for success.
Okay. So all of a sudden when you're seeing it, you start to get like one of your hands starts trembling for that thread as you take
not
a
again.
point of strain. As you kind of like look at your hand and you choke back whatever it was and you're just like, what's going on, man? What was that all about? As you're just hearing this weird conversation you don't remember ever having in some weird place, sitting on your knees meditating.
He's never
Is he
meditated in
someplace
his life.
everybody can see him?
I meditate all the time.
Probably not when it
What you do
happens.
is some
If you had advantage,
horrors.
I'd say sure you guys could see this happen, but
When was the last time you meditated? Never. When was the last time you summoned tentacle horrors? Never. Maybe you should learn to meditate.
so you're coming up on the city of Quintessence, and who's gonna give me a navigation for going for the storm?
Okay, you started raising. You're just like, wait,
Okay.
no.
Now, and I
Got
will
it.
give a blue dice to any Ethermancers as I look at the 2 folks who have Ethermancy.
Navigation is astrocartography?
Yep.
Yeah. I got a blank too.
What if we just make someone else's eyes light on fire?
You could try
You can
that.
find someone else to navigate.
Because that would definitely give them a blue die so they could see the ether ebbs and flows.
Wait, we've got ether goggles.
Does she want to
I
share
do.
them?
I have ether. I
No,
can
no,
look
I
at
let
ether.
someone borrow my glasses.
Yeah, we've got ether goggles. To do
Okay.
that.
Are you gonna loan whoever's gonna navigate your ether goggles?
Yes.
Okay. So who's gonna navigate?
I guess it's me.
Okay. So
Okay,
you're putting
so-
on the ether goggles, and you're like, I can come up with eye drops and do the same thing. I'm sure.
Probably.
So
I
the
just need to
goggles-
destroy your goggles to do
My
it.
goggles.
Or her goggles.
No,
Well,
I
she
have,
has
I
special
created-
magic. I got goggles.
Yeah.
Can we get an extra blue for the kid who's helping?
Yeah.
You said he was good at
Yeah.
astrogation.
He'll sit over his shoulder really close and personal space violatingly and like double check your numbers, and I'm sure all these things are great.
Difficult.
It's going to be against 3 purple,
Yeah. We want
and
this
he's
one.
grabbing one before I
Yep.
can.
That is a good idea.
Okay, are we almost here?
You're heading into
Yeah,
the
we're
giant
heading
storm
into the
right
storm.
now.
So where the
So
light
hold
So
on.
he's astrogating,
probably
that
more
means
like-
you're doing the
Like
piloting,
here.
right?
We're coming
Well,
towards
he
it.
can astrogate before
And
he
pilot?
pilots,
So-
and then he'll
Oh.
once he's this is plotting your course through the storm.
Oh, okay.
We look like an ocean ship, but in the air flying.
Mm.
With big balloons.
I'll just show you 2 successes and a whole bunch of advantage.
Okay.
You see this?
In the top corner
Oh, there we
there.
go.
That's kind of like what we look like.
Mm.
Only cooler.
Only way cooler.
Okay, so how many advantage there?
3.
3. How would you like to spend those 3 advantage? Cut a course to get through in half the time?
To make my piloting easier.
Okay, downgrade the piloting difficulty. Okay, I'm cool with that. So go ahead and give me your piloting roll as you're sitting there and you're doing the math and you're like, we need to head in here, let the wind catch us and take us. So it's going to take the 3 purple for piloting and turn that down to only 2 purple. That was a good use of your advantage there.
Flying through a giant aether storm. Maybe this will be difficult. Let's see what I can do about
Let's
that.
downgrade the difficulty on that difficulty.
Alright.
So you basically grab the wheel and start piloting into the storm. Everybody, gets, somewhere safe. People start stowing things away, except for the doctor who probably forgot to store all those chemical concoctions in his lab. It'll be fine.
Nothing's safe in this storm.
I am.
You would be incorrect.
Talk
Here we
about
go.
a long shot.
Ride the lightning.
Ooh, yes.
Fail to ride the
Towards
lightning.
the lightning is the good idea.
And this is why narrative dice are so interesting, because even though everything is in your favor,
Not a failure and 2 advantage.
so what would you like to use for your 2 advantage?
Not die.
So immediately you spin the wheel and you follow the course that you've picked as this is the safe path. Unfortunately, for a mere second, probably because the goggles may have flopped down a little because they're not made for your head exactly, or some silly thing caused you to overcompensate the
Telling
wheel.
you, eyebrows.
And immediately the ship goes sideways into the storm.
It's like, this isn't good.
And immediately you all feel your feet basically come off the deck for half a second. Now everybody give me a coordination roll.
Nope.
So if you don't have coordination on your card there, go ahead and flip the card over. It will just be
crikey.
what your agility is.
So
Again.
you're gonna roll 3.
And it's going to be against 2 purple and a red.
Ooh.
Sorry, 2 purple and a black. 2
And a
purple and a
black.
black.
That's
Sorry, didn't mean to terrify you all there.
Okay.
Oh, well,
Can anyone?
I got
do, like,
3
a blue
failures.
Oh, wait,
Nope.
before we
Oh.
roll,
Yeah, take
Can we-
turns rolling because you can
Okay.
always help each other if someone rolls
before
well.
we roll, do we get a blue because we strapped ourselves in?
Nobody said they strapped themselves.
We all said we strapped ourselves in. You said we strapped ourselves
They
in.
were actually saying that.
Yes, you can have a
Okay.
blue for strapping yourself in.
Yay.
I did not strap
Obviously,
myself in.
Scrappa does not believe in strapping herself in
No,
properly.
because I got 3 failures.
I got a
Do you want
disadvantage.
to roll for Hilda and the kid?
Oh, they're going to be bouncing around in their rooms. They're NPCs. They fail these rolls for fun's sake.
Oh, okay.
All of a sudden, she was changing, and there's outfits everywhere.
Okay, so that is.
Ah, good. You still have the cheat sheet. I was
Gotta
going to
be
read
better
it.
than mine.
We canceled, and I only have this and these.
Yep.
This.
I have the statistically expected result of a success and a threat.
Okay, so for you, you land back on your feet and you're taking a point of strain because you're just feeling that you're now caught in the ether storm, that you're one with the storm, which gets you kind of excited.
What about me?
So your feet come off the deck as the ship kind of like just dropped a couple hundred feet instantly, and you kind of like floated in the air. And as soon as the ground came right back to you, you're not sure if it was you hitting the ground or the ground coming up to you. It felt really weird. All of a sudden, you drop to the ground. You basically hit and land on the ground. But you do realize that when you hit, you recovered that 1 point of strain. If you want for your advantage. You can use that advantage to erase that 1 point of strain if you like.
Then he,
Well, you took the
erased
nap
when he
off.
took a nap.
Oh, okay. Okay, so
Yeah.
you
But
can
you're
erase
extra
that
rest.
one.
Or
Also, I still have the pillow, right? So that could also cushion my fall, basically.
You probably didn't have it with you.
I don't think you would have taken it
Yeah.
to
I
go
don't think you would
shooting,
have strapped
Artemis.
it to your butt.
Yeah.
No, like there's this machinery backpack that I have that has my pillow in it, and it automatically puts out my pillow wherever I
Okay.
choose to have it.
So I'll say deployed your pillow just a half second late, so you will be taking we'll take your point of advantage to remove 1 point of damage.
Okay.
So with your failure, it's 2 failures, so it's 2 points of damage, but we're gonna minus one of them from the advantage. So
So
you take
just
one wound.
One right here.
But
you have like 14.
And his
Yeah.
dry
Okay.
soap doesn't count.
So right
And
here.
it is
Because
soap
it's a
doesn't
gypsum.
count. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because this is
Sorry, that was for me.
environmental damage. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, this is environmental damage, which bypasses soak, or you'd never take any damage.
What if we didn't have bones?
Then you would just bounce
Then there'd
like
be a lot of
rubber.
damage.
Then it'd be a puddle.
Well, that's cute.
I think I-
So what did you have, Scrap?
I got 3 failures.
So that's going to be 3 points of damage as Scrapper goes flying. There's a cloud of tools and Scrapper flying
Oh,
through the
that's what-
engineering area.
My big giant
something
wrench just
probably
hit me in
That's
the
what,
head.
that's what happened is that your tools hit you.
Yeah, my big. Well, remember, I have a weapon
You were
that's a
strapped
giant
down.
wrench.
Your tools
That's
were.
right.
She turns around just in time to see the giant wrench and go, et tu, wrench ahead.
Oh, how could you betray me?
Does your wrench
can
have
I
a name?
employ my pillow
Um,
in front of her so that
no.
the
No,
wrench
no,
is
it
better?
helped you.
I think you rolled too many dice.
All of this happened at the same time.
Oh.
Coordination.
Have you named your
versus the
wrench?
Two with one.
Um,
the extra blue.
now
You
it's
only
going to be
have
called
two
bludger.
Yeah,
So
the
it's
smaller
based
ones.
on your
I
agility.
haven't
Right.
named
And
my
call it
backpack.
blood
I did
light.
two with the one.
I
not
haven't
the
named
two.
my
Okay.
backpack pillow.
Sorry. You're right.
Yet.
You know what it was,
That's
because
fine.
you were worrying about Hilda. You're like, my
No,
Hilda.
it's just, I forgot.
My crossbow is
I went,
sized.
okay, 2 of that dice and one of
Mhm.
that
Write it
dice
down.
instead of the 2 dice with the one.
Oh, great.
So that you remember it. Just like underneath one of the details, like down here, just be like.
Oh,
the
re-roll that
crossbow's
guy.
name is
He's
Spider.
stuck on your lacings, and he loves you.
Okay. So,
It's not horribly bad. 2 success.
So-
Of course, with your imperial boots, they hit the deck with a thud.
so this cancel.
Mm-hmm.
This is another threat.
So-
So 3 success and 1 threat.
Okay, so you easily land on your feet, but you take a point of strain because immediately, as soon as you hit with like perfect balance, your immediate thought was Hilda, and that's the point of strain that you're taking as you're stressing. Oh God, what is my lady love doing in this room? And you just know somewhere there's this echo of her bouncing through the room like a classic movie, like any Cary Grant movie of the lady tumbling around.
Yeah, there's a leg out the porthole.
Pretty sure that was closed before.
So what about our dear doctor at the till?
Has a threat. I
Okay.
assume just the entire crew here shouted from the control room, "Bring me my brown pants!"
Okay, so point of strain for you is you're grabbing onto the wheel so you didn't, your legs come out from underneath you as you come back down. As all of a sudden the ship is being pulled into the storm. Now, as this is happening, ether is like swirling through the ship. The ship is being baffled back and forth. Scrapper, go ahead and give me a perception roll for your engine room.
Okay.
And what are the rest of you 3 doing?
How
I'm
many
designing
purples?
Hold
my.
on.
I'm designing my weapon. Right
How many
now.
purples?
It's going to be against 2 purple. Can't be too hard to spot something with your tools flying through the room.
I
You
fail.
think-
I think it's that concussion.
Right now, Scrapper's got this black eye saying, I wish I had my goggles right now. I made bad life choices.
Don't we all
Okay?
consistently do that?
So Peter, you're on your feet. What are you going to do?
Who needs help?
Your pilot.
Probably.
Alright.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, that's
fine.
At the very
Everything's
least,
fine.
you
This
can
is
run
what
up
the
to the
flight
wheel
feels
and
like
help
when
him and give him a
everything's
little
fine.
dice.
I'm
This is
hurt,
fine.
I'm hurt.
Yeah, okay, I will go
okay,
to,
okay,
I will
you're
go
okay,
to
everyone's
help
okay,
steady
it's
the
okay.
ship.
Okay, so you're going to run up to the other side of the wheel and grab it with him. You're like, which way do we turn it?
I'm assuming I'm still like in midair, like
Whee!
like 60 degrees from horizontal.
And at this point, he's just grabbing you, pulling down.
I'm a lever arm.
So what is our Ethermancer doing?
So, we've come to the conclusion that having bones is a bad thing.
Yes.
Okay.
Bones to rubber spell is something you need to make.
There's a way to get rid of this turbulence. Well, not get rid of the turbulence, but not be worried about it anymore. And that's not having any bones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get to the pilot and magic him some ability to pilot better.
Enhancement.
That doesn't involve removing bones.
Ether
I mean, not
enhancement.
necessarily.
If we turn on our ether power converter thingy, will that help or blow us up?
Yes.
Blow us up.
Okay.
Also help. It will help blow us
It will
up.
add more ether to the mix.
No, and I would like to enhance his. What are you rolling? Agility.
Operations. So yeah, it's intellect.
Intellect. I'm gonna brain your brain on some brain
It's
juice.
gonna fill your brain full of ether.
Remember what happened the last time you worked with my brain?
I don't remember anything.
That's the problem.
Your brain needs brain tentacles.
Piloting is agility.
But he's doing operations, which is what you use for big
This
ships.
is your brain. This is your
Yeah.
brain on Aether.
I've got a triumph.
Oh.
Hey.
So-
So when you walk up to him and start, I would venture to say non-consensual ethermancy.
I think that's.
What does it
accurate.
look like when you run up and you ether his brain?
No, like I'm gonna go up to him and I put my hand on the back of his head and a fiery tentacle coils around the back of his head that he can't see right now.
I'm wearing the goggles.
Yeah, but your eyes are here, okay? For now. Do you want me to fix that? I can.
And so he hits a button on the goggles and the rear view mirror pops up.
Fine, you want me to fix that? I can.
Do you know what helps with depth perception?
Eye stalks.
Tentacles filled with eyes.
Okay,
And the eyes have it.
so you're enhancing his intelligence.
Yeah, I'm buffing his intelligence.
All of a sudden, your brain is opening up in ways you never knew. You're like the fourth dimension.
But kind of dirty.
All of a sudden, the ethermancy actually makes sense. You should be writing this all down right now. And at that point, your feet hit the deck. You're looking at Peter's on the other side of the wheel, holding it, looking at you. You got the teamwork going.
Let's go.
Okay, so do you want to make a dice pool between each other, or just a blue dice to add to it? I'm pretty sure
I think
that
blue dice is
Yeah.
probably the way to go. How difficult?
it's 3 purple plus a black since you've lost control, and Peter's really supporting you there.
That's
It's saying
right.
upgrade that green to
I
a yellow.
concur.
Peter's like, I have faith in you.
Row your boat.
I have faith in you.
There's some
We
numbers.
succeeded at things.
Yes.
Finally.
You know what it was? It's the
Proceed.
ethermancy. Definitely the ethermancy.
Oh, yeah.
No,
And the
it was me.
teamwork.
It was me. It was me.
We're saved.
I saved
So
the ship.
4 success, 2 advantage.
Okay, what would you like to do with the 2 advantage?
Die less quickly.
Okay, so you're gonna live at least 10 years longer with good living and chemistry. So immediately you guys are looking at each
All of
other,
you.
and he's kind of looking past you, what's going on there, and you just notice the like head tentacle thing that he's doing back there, and it's super creepy.
Oh, no,
It's really creepy
I know
when it comes by the
exactly
fact that
what
I'm
he's
singing
doing.
row.
I know exactly what he's doing.
And all of a sudden,
That we will take care of later.
Okay.
You're doing okay.
you understand that this makes sense. The storm.
Theoretically, I can fix that later.
The storm makes sense for some reason. You don't understand why, and you're a leaf on the wind.
No,
Watch as I soar!
Get away from the pointy end.
And you snap into the current. You turn just right that you are actually being perfectly pitched into the swirling vortex and being brought back up.
This is what I meant to do from the beginning.
Yeah.
Can I trust you?
Specifically this.
Sure.
And you can't possibly tell me
Um,
otherwise.
I need a black
Okay, sit down.
and maybe a green.
Black and gray seems to have broken. I don't think I have my.
More paper.
Okay.
Never enough
don't
scratch paper, more
have-
giving. So immediately you whip
I
in.
didn't bring my pencil sharpener.
Now, what are you doing?
Then let's
Artemis.
work on-
Artemis, you
What?
hit the deck. You're pello
I
deployed.
have s-
Everybody seems to be snapping to action. What do you do?
Mm,
You hear yelling from the engine room. That must be Scrapper bouncing around with the flying tools.
can I arm this? The thing.
Well,
Well, you know that the city of Quintessence is friendly.
yes. So
It's
you know-
just that there's this big,
Friendly-ish.
protective, dangerous, horrible storm surrounding the city.
So, if I could recommend something to you, your character is good at seeing things because he
You are
has
super
vigilance.
perception, yeah.
Oh, and also the glasses.
So
Yeah.
you could use your perception to look around, see how the clouds are moving, and tell him what you see coming.
You
No,
can
it's
look
fine,
out.
it's fine, everything's fine, it's
And you
fine.
go,
It's fine.
cow, another cow. Nope, same cow.
So I look into the storm and then I notice a dark cloud moving away.
Or-
That must be the source of the lightning.
No, not necessarily, but we don't know that much. But what you can do is you can tell him, I want to help him by looking at the cloud and letting him know what I see.
Okay,
Mhm.
so
And that would help him have extra die if he needs to do
Yeah,
things
sure.
because you're helping him.
sure. So like I see a dark cloud moving.
We
away.
don't know that.
Well,
Artemis.
let's go ahead and roll and see what you spot.
Okay.
So it's going to be against 2 purple and a black because there's all the craziness going on. I will give you a blue because you're wearing your airship glasses,
Neat.
so the wind doesn't slap you in the eyeballs.
Just looking out. Duck, duck,
Goose.
duck, same duck. I'm pretty sure it's just the one duck.
Here we go.
Goose, hey!
So roll that
So go
die
ahead,
pool.
give it a roll. That's you basically are running up to the rail and you're staring off into the storm. You're facing it boldly.
And I got a bunch of stuff. That's good. So
And you got blanks on the
These-
back stuff.
and
Oh.
hey, this.
Yep.
So I basically just saved myself and got these, like, 1 advantage and 2 success.
Correct.
Okay, so immediately you get to the rail and you look, and thankfully the glasses are protecting your eyes from the wind that's snapping around your hair's
And
going
I
back.
managed to see all
Or
of the
hold
dark
on.
clouds.
No, Artemis, he's going to tell you right now.
Well, as you look into the cloud, you're realizing that obviously when the pilot went in there, that in the storm as it's twirling around, there seems to be bits of debris, like ripped up ship parts flying around and things, and you're realizing that's what probably happened was one of those clipped your tail and spun you off course. So immediately you're shouting to the guys on the wheel, hey, there's debris off the starboard bow. Yes, I'm throwing both sides of the ship out at once as a description. It's great. I was waiting for at least one laugh, but nobody laughed. You non-sailors, you.
It's just not funny.
Okay. and you basically are calling out to them that you're seeing debris flying around in the clouds.
What's debris?
It basically means bits of other ships that failed and crashed and died, and the storm's picked up bits of those ships and is swirling around forever.
Like it's about to do to us.
There could be like a poor body on a piece of sail waving like this as the body's flying around the storm. It's really sad.
Things we could try inventing.
You want to look at him and
Sails.
say, don't kill us.
Ooh, can I have the rope arrows real quick so that I can get the body?
You need to ask her to make them for you, but probably not enough time for it right now.
No.
She's busy getting hit by her
you
own
probably
wrench.
think that
I
might
have
be
a question.
dangerous too, because if you were to hit it in the storm, it may tangle up on your
Oh,
ship, and you would.
That's true.
That could be really risky if you
Yeah.
rolled threat. That could make the pilot's life difficult. But you can
Alrighty.
definitely give him direction, because you had how many advantage?
I had 1 advantage and 2 success.
Okay, so you can give the next person to go, which will probably be that guy, a blue dice to his piloting roll.
Because you're shouting at him, don't go that way, there's leftover bits of ship there.
Debris to the left.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
And now it's to the right. And,
And-
it's coming back around. It's on the left
And
and
for
right.
one moment, when you're looking, all of a sudden the storm kind of parts for a second because these clouds are like all stringy and moving.
So like it parts as like just before we managed to get in.
Well,
You don't know
it
that.
opens up and you see the city of Quintessence for the very first time. This is the first time you've ever laid eyes on this beautiful, immaculate city.
Boy, that's a lot of tentacles.
Yeah. They keep it clean.
Hey, these tentacles both protect it from the storms and stuff,
Mm-hmm. That's exactly what you're seeing.
And-
This is when the
and
cloud
also
parts.
cleans the.
Yes, they also recycle.
Yeah. And that's what you're seeing when the storm parts. But the big thing is you're telling him, hey dude, the debris is on the left.
I like that the recycle, not just throw their trash into the storm instead of throw
No,
At,
no,
at
they
least
pick up
the
the
trash
garbage
isn't in the storm
and
but making it too
All
hard
of the
for us.
corpses get reanimated.
Yeah.
Reduce, reuse, reanimate. That's
Yep.
the
The
that's
necromancer is so green.
Very indirect recycling.
the. Where else do you get your?
I like that one.
your
And I'm
It's
assuming-
an old one.
I'm assuming Peter's still assisting. Okay.
Hey,
You
Artemis,
still have the upgraded
did you
brain
ask
power.
if that was okay first?
Yeah.
What were you gonna draw?
No.
Music notes.
Oh, okay.
I was thinking I saw a triumph there for a second.
Almost. You almost saw it there.
Yeah, almost saw it.
Ooh.
Yeah, I saw like a flash of triumph.
Ta-da! Like that.
2 and 2.
2 success, 2 advantage. So immediately with this teamwork going on, is you guys are peeling into the opening that he pointed out to you in the clouds. You know, you waited for that debris to fly by and you dart into the opening.
Merrily,
And you're like, why won't this song get out of my head?
Why won't the magician get out of my head?
And it's really the tentacle on your earlobe singing into your ear. The mantra, it calms your mind. It opens your pathway.
This does not calm my mind in any way, shape, or form.
There is nothing that will calm your mind while you are here.
And immediately you all feel the ship and gravity return to normal as you snap through this invisible wall in the storm. And you pop out in Quintessence.
Yay! We're not dead again.
As all of a sudden in the engineering room you hear this horrible clatter of things just hitting the ground all at
That's
once.
normal.
You hear the giant crate kind of tilt on its side. You're hearing screaming coming from Peter's quarters.
That's not
And
abnormal though.
Somewhere in the airship, you can't quite place it, but Peter's page is moaning and it's echoing through the whole airship somehow. You don't know where he's stuck, but he's stuck in the airship somewhere.
I'm gonna go through the calm pipe system.
Also,
Shut
stuck
up.
him.
Well, he fell in the storm. He basically slid during the storm and disappeared. Access hatch. It's very dangerous.
Ooh. Maybe he accidentally got out on like it slid him off, but he managed to grab onto the back.
So he's outside
Oh,
the
no,
ship hanging
no.
off the back.
Yeah.
Wait,
That sounds
wait, haven't we had this situation before? This exact situation?
He's definitely family.
Oh mercy.
We call them the Russian tail dancers.
We need to put a net back there.
We
And immediately you guys see the city of Quintessence. It's beautiful. I mean, it's like this gorgeous 100-mile circumference city. You know, it's got smaller ether mancers riding like little ether boards. You know, they land these belly boards, and you know, there's the picture. I mean, and you guys are like, wow. you're impressed with this guy's folks.
Really, my only comment is that's a lot of tentacles.
I ain't impressed with shit right now.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's just
I've got a
tentacles.
split headache.
But they're really big tentacles.
And they're all
And when there's tentacles that are that big, one is a lot of tentacles.
The worst part is when the tentacles have tentacles.
I probably should have asked you this ahead of time, but if they know that I can, are they gonna kill me?
No!
Okay.
No, that would be too easy.
Oh,
No.
gotcha.
Kill the heretic!
I'm sure.
No, you know for a fact the practitioners of Quintessence are super open, hippy dippy. Everybody has their own style, but they like to follow the one true Dalai Lama of the Quintessence.
Are you sure you're a cleric?
No.
Eric?
I'm
So
the
you
new
can
Dalai Lama is what I'm getting.
Have you recovered yet?
No, I have not recovered. I have taken wounds, not
Because this is
strength.
just popping out of the storm. So what are
This
each of you
is-
guys doing?
I really
Well,
need some weaponry.
I-
so that I can
I had already made you some.
If you guys are
explosive
hurt,
arrows.
I could
Okay.
use my pleasant and happy
Just in case
magic
if
to
we-
heal you.
This is a horrendous idea.
I
Killing
know.
tentacles!
3 points,
Okay.
but I think I just need to rest. I don't want to risk her.
Get on the horn.
That's the worst thing that
Okay.
could happen. The
I'm
last
changing
time
out
we
of
played,
my
you
mouth.
got
I
the
think
cool
I'd rather talk to Jack.
Okay, one at a time, guys.
Get on the horn to Quintessence portal for docking instructions and.
By horn, you mean flags, right?
And immediately, because you have the ether communicator,
Right.
you get this pleasant voice saying, "Thank you for coming to Quintessence. Please, are you here for fun, for education, for amusement,
This
or the Quintessence experience?"
is a trick question. The answer is yes.
All of that and more. We have a delivery.
Oh, hey, who is the delivery for?
He didn't say we couldn't drop his name. Say who we're
What if
supposed to
we're
give it
delivering
to.
Aether Bomb and they're just gonna
Huh.
get the
And,
Aether Bomb?
and literally
Okay,
you're getting
on
this
Quintessence.
like
Imagine
long
so-
pause of,
So you have Quintessence.
very well, we can have you go to the general
So
unloading
above
place.
the storm is already there is another storm with another floating island.
Please, follow the, and you see, you hear pause, and see he's doing something, you hear some clicks and some whirs of vacuum tubes. Follow the yellow buoys, and immediately you're looking out at, over the captain, and you see there's these crystals embedded in floating buoys, and the crystals are rotating between different colors, like pinks, blues, greens, yellows. And then all of a sudden, a bunch of buoys in uniform line are turning yellowish and staying yellow.
Oh, pretty.
And you're seeing like ether bounce from one to the other. You with your
Follow the
goggles
yellow
on.
floating road.
With your goggles on, you just saw
yellow
this
float
like
road.
this ether flare erupt from this general landing area and like dance from buoy to buoy to buoy as they all turn yellow. And with the goggles on, it is a huge, massive explosion of yellow glow.
Follow the yellow float road.
Okay, so you're following the yellow float road. Okay. What about our engineer?
She's sorting her tools and storing them properly.
I'm helping. I'm helping.
Okay, so you're going down there to help
And
her?
she's
Yeah.
like, oh.
Okay, so you're putting the tools back in the cabinets where they're supposed to go and locking them up, and then you give that wrench that double look like et tu ranche.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, that's her weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The wrench.
And what is our ethermancer
It's a
doing?
big-
Well, he's
I'm-
feeling the
it's a
feels.
two-handed
You're feeling the
wrench.
feels.
I'm offering healing for the people that need to be healed from their
Please do not.
wounds.
Because it's
So who are you healing? Because it seems like everyone
Yeah, who
seems
is hurt?
okay.
Is anybody hurt?
I am down 3 points.
You did hear
I'm wounded
screaming
one.
noises.
I have one wound.
Then I'm heading down to the.
You're heading down to the engine room?
and I'll be performing some magic healing.
Okay, so you start popping out with the
Wait,
healing
what?
mojo.
Can we find Anton?
Who?
The boy.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
The
I mean,
page.
he's dangling.
Yeah, I guess it's more
Fine.
important to find
And
Anton.
as
at the moment.
Peter's on the radio going,
Dangling in the back.
where is that boy anyway? Help!
And I am slightly disappointed
And then I look
because
out through a
apparently
window and I see him.
I have an NPC.
As you look back,
I was possibly not even an NPC, possibly a henchman.
almost
I had
minion
almost
status.
minions. He might be a minion. Oh, I had such high hopes for
As
the boy.
you look back to the spot where he should have had the cables clipping him in, one to the
Yeah.
floor, two to the ceiling, and you're seeing all three of them weren't clipped in. That's why he went flying, apparently.
Oh
He
no!
forgot to
it's
clip
worse
himself
than
in.
that. He's comic relief.
Wah, wah.
Okay, so you're starting to head down, but then you hear the help
Oh,
and you go to the back observation deck, and you literally see, hanging by a rope that thankfully went off with him, there's Anton hanging by a rope.
Leave him. He can tie us down when we die. It'll speed up the process a lot.
And he looks at you, he makes eye contact because he's looking at the ground and looks up at you and he's got this
Just
begging face of, hey! I will owe you my life! Please
Smile
bring
and
me
wave.
back
Smile
in!
and wave. Smile and wave.
Okay. So I'm gonna use the utility magics
Smile.
Okay.
The boy's first tentacle.
Yeah, to create
They
a
always remember their
variety
first.
of tentacles to go out and grab him and pull him on board, with a protective sheath of mucus to protect him from the
wind.
From the winds.
Yeah.
Yes, and damage from possibly landing on the floor.
So when you summon these tentacles, by the way, do they just kind of incorporeally come out of the ether?
Oh, they
and
come out of the
grab-
ship.
Oh, okay.
They come out of the ship. They're on fire. They're tentacles. They're normal things that you do when you are a fire tentacle mage.
How does the engineer not have a problem with the fact that tentacles are coming out of her ship?
Because she can't
Well-
see it.
Why do you think he's always loading her goggles out?
I need arrows that actually.
Why don't you have a problem with the weird tentacle on the back of your
Instead
head?
of just-
I do.
Same thing. You don't know it's there.
I just like
Feel it.
And the
I'm
best
seeing
part
it over
is, in the
and over.
engineering room, you saw a bunch of metal pieces dart into that giant crate, giving her inspiration for arrows.
Mm.
So you basically ethermancer the boy back on, and he grabs you, and he's got death grip. He's got drowning man death grip on you. He's like, "Thank you so much. I was going to die. Did you see? Did you see?" And of course, one of the cool things with Quintessence, when you're inside Quintessence, you don't see the horrible, ravaging ether storm. It looks like the other side of the storm from the city. So it's beautiful
Clear
skyline.
skies.
That's cheating.
Because
Yeah.
that's the way ethermancers play.
It's
They don't want to see a horrible death
It's
storm.
because of this. Remember?
Maybe that's part of the enchantment, the ethermancy
Yeah,
magic.
The magic that protects them from the storm. That's
Uh-huh.
why it's all clear inside.
It's really because the
Remember?
ethermancer makes you not know it's there. So it's like imagining it doesn't exist at all.
Yeah,
I wish I could do that.
we can.
I wish I could do it myself.
You can.
Put it into a fiddle. And then the walls start melting into tentacle rainbows.
No.
Double
What a
tentacle rainbows.
Double tentacle ring. Each color is a different tentacle. And when you look at them more closely, there's even more tentacles.
So you guys are heading for the yellow buoy road. Go ahead and give me your piloting roll as you're bringing it down to dock. And there's lots of helpers gladly coming out for your belaying lines to come down to tie you off.
How difficult.
It's just 2 purple. It's super easy. It couldn't get any easier unless one of those purple turned to red, by the way.
I was prepared.
He knows me well.
I think I'm fine.
Yeah, 3
just
successes.
success.
Just 3 successes. So you easily guide the airship down, cut the engines. They grab the ropes and they pull you down to a
Your
nice
tricks will not
safe
work on
landing.
me.
So you come down to a landing, and basically a couple fairly large guys. They're wearing the sash of initiates of the ethermancers. They're there to help you unload your cargo. What is your cargo?
Butter.
Not as much as we thought.
Ooh, butter.
And a sarcophagus.
And spice
Also filled with butter.
Oh, are
Remember we
you?
did that.
Uh huh. But are you gonna sell those? I don't think you want them to unload those.
No.
Those are barter items. They'll gladly take your donations to the Church of Quintessence. or the organization of quintessence, or just quintessence. They're so cool, they just need one name.
Quint.
Quint. So does our
That's the Dalai
answer
name.
do anything to identify himself as someone who's passed the trials and gone out into the world?
I mean, yeah, all right. I mean, I did work for it, so obviously I do. You know,
It's the only thing he's ever worked for in his life.
I worked that PR gig in Berlin. Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. So do you like gesture to them?
Yes, yes. I bring the crying boy to.
Oh, he is like latched onto your hip. I think Peter lost his intern.
Hold it, his lip.
His comic relief.
The lip.
The person that I'm here to talk to deliver to is a person of some rank, I'm assuming, or like I have a name.
Repute.
You have a name.
Belloc.
Give me a discipline roll against a red and 2 purple.
Red and 2 purples.
Well, a purple and 2 reds.
You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and turn one of those reds purple red.
You have to call me again, boy.
I get 2 despair. The despairs are coming out of your ears. But the despairs are coming out.
As his
Ooh,
head
I do get triumph.
Ooh!
All right.
Triumph
There's
and
no stopping him. Like literally no stopping him.
fantastic.
Yeah.
This is great.
So immediately you kind of like had this moment where they're like, where would you like to send it to? And you start to identify yourself to them. And you're
It's just
like,
howling
you're
angrily.
like, huh. And you think about it. And then immediately the image snaps back in your mind where the Frenchman is telling you that here's where you need to drop it off. Here's the name to leave behind. And you immediately parlay that information to them. And they're like, oh, excellent. How do we take it? And they're like kind of like looking at this giant crate, realizing how the hell are we getting that out of your ship?
Yeah.
Does Stratford come to the aid?
Oh, I assume I have some type of wench or
Yeah,
crane.
you got.
Yeah, we have a wench
You
on
got
board.
the whole way you wenched it in. It's just these guys. These guys were here to pick up packages, and you give them this 14-foot by 20-foot crate.
They're right their answers. It
To
should be
be
fine.
They're
I will-
initiates.
They're right their answers. It
You
should be
take,
fine.
you take the ship and you do this, and it goes thump, and then you got it. If it starts ticking, it's not our problem anymore.
Does
And
it
we
say
just fly away.
fragile on the side?
And-
Must be Italian.
And do you still have the goggles on, by the way?
I guess I do.
Okay, are you still up in the engine in the pilot room?
I mean, I assume my part, so now I've come down.
Okay. Did you take the goggles off, or are you still wearing them like a weird guy?
I followed it.
Okay.
It's not a weird
So you
guy.
pop the goggles off.
You
and-
give them back to me.
Not a weird guy, just a beast man.
Okay.
I'll
Okay.
pop them back on.
Okay, so you go up and you just
Hide
walk
my
by him and do the
shiner.
nonchalant. Boop, boop.
And then cover my shiner.
Oh, so you put them on.
Yeah.
Turns the tint way up.
Oh, so you put the goggles way on.
Yes,
And are you turning them on?
of course.
Give me a perception roll.
Do I get advantage since I've got the glasses on?
You get advantage because you know it's quintessence and their ether tech. And it's going to be against 3 purple. Yeah. There's a bunch of stuff I'm going to tell you. You see regardless.
Flip one of those, please, actually.
Ah, I'm surprised
Yeah.
you didn't do your human trick and steal one of mine.
Hold it, and I'm on the ship.
Yes, you are.
So
you get that favorite charade.
Ooh.
Oh, triumph!
That's
One success, but I got 3 threats.
That's okay.
So for
That's
your
okay.
3 threats. 3 threat. I've been waiting for 3 threats
Good
my
stuff.
whole life. So
My whole life!
immediately you turn on the goggles when you put them on. You kind of like softly set them on the black eye.
Yeah.
And you turn around to give these 3 initiates the whole rundown, and you realize with your goggles on, these 3 initiates have like a faint aura glow around them. It's very
Okay.
faint. It's just like glow. Of course, you've seen him before with his majesty of ethermancy, and the faint aura that you now know what it is on Peter, since Peter's now realized that he's a closet ethermancer.
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden, you're looking around the ship and you're realizing there's spots of ethermancy that have been cleaned off. And you're like, yeah, I should clean those. But the most important thing is, as the winch is cranking down with the big crate that you picked up, that you're being brought to deliver, as the crate's coming down on the line of the deck, it's coming down, and you're looking with your goggles on, and there is the brightest glow ever, like an X-ray glowing from inside the box to out.
Oh, shit.
In a very distinct outline, and there's a very, because I'm going to use those 3 threads, rhythmic throbbing that's increasing in intensity very slowly.
Wait, how did this thing get on our ship without ever being looked at by the Aethermancer
You
or
never
her?
looked at it.
None of us looked at it.
I was waiting for someone to look at
We
it.
were
With,
I was.
I deliberately didn't look at it.
I'm
I
gonna
was
like
trying to get a
pull the
barrel of
Aethermancer. I'm like,
now, you're a competent engineer. I'm assuming you've looked at some logs from time to time, right? Give me a mechanics roll to see if you recognize this outline that's there.
Can I help?
The lock is meant to.
No,
keep
because this is
something
just her
in.
seeing the X-ray energy coming through the box.
against.
It's going to be against 3 purple because it's fairly obscure, but fairly well known almost. And it's ether tech, so I'll give you a blue die. As you're
What's
putting
the
these
extra?
goggles on, and she's just
'Cause I
like
do
gawking
have,
at the crate, like, and everybody's
knowledge
just like
of-
pulling the chains, and it's going down.
Okay, so let's see here. Okay, I got 4 successes, or 3 successes.
3 successes.
3 successes.
You think, as this thing's cranking down below the deck and coming down, you're like, what the, it shouldn't be, the ether was the wrong color, that's like orange ether, what? And all of a sudden,
Is
in
it
your
a
head,
bomb?
it clicks. That this looks like you read in one of the old journals of what the prototype ether bomb looked like. As these guys are like, hey, this
Stop!
voice thing is great, and they're just like, what? As it finishes clanking
Yes.
down to the.
And I'm like, don't touch it. Stop. Come here.
Okay. What?
So
Yes.
I'm gonna whisper in your ear, and I'm like, I think this is like an old, and I'm gonna hand you my goggles.
He doesn't really need them.
Well,
You
look,
just need to
friggin'
use
look with
he
your
needs to
ether
use his
eyes.
ether eyes.
your ether eyes.
Did you check it? It's a bomb.
Oh yeah. What else was it gonna be?
It's fair.
You saw them.
Was either that or like a mummy of some type?
You put a freaking bomb on my ship.
Okay, do me a quick favor. Roll me a discipline roll.
Okay.
It's that
This
that
is-
classic 2 purple and a red.
Oh, mercy. This
Yeah.
command is some.
Hey, you rolled the despair when that happened, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and flip when you're
That's what I
right.
figured.
I gotta contend with your discipline.
Despairs.
Yeah, despair.
And no triumph.
But shit ton of successes.
What is your discipline, by the way?
4 discipline. 5 discipline. 4 will.
Okay, so Kelly, what's your discipline?
My discipline is 2 greens.
Give me a discipline roll versus 4 red and a purple.
You.
You.
I need
Oh,
a lot
that's
more.
Yeet.
Yeet.
I
As
need
all,
another
of,
red.
as all of a sudden you're looking at her and you say, of course, in the calmest of voice, you're not concerned. This is
I'm like,
this is
like,
for some reason it's oddly calm that you're like, of course it's a bomb.
I had automatically assumed that my
Okay.
character was like young.
I
Well-
thought it was only a bomb. I thought
I got a despair and
The X is your favorite.
we're gonna say that I got a despair. 1, 2, 3, 4 failures and 1 advantage.
And all of a sudden,
Brown
when he
pen.
looks no, when he says, of course it's a bomb, in this weird calm voice that almost doesn't sound like him calm voice. It sounds like some old calm man. Immediately, as soon as he says that, you immediately are okay with that.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
like,
okay.
you're okay with that. Like you knew the whole time that this was the job to drop this off in Quintessence.
even though I had just yelled that you put a bomb on my ship.
Well, yeah, and then I responded with, yeah, and they're like, oh,
okay.
Yeah. All of a sudden, the whammy
I've
that
been
he's
whammied.
currently under passed into you, using him as the tool.
I've been whammied.
Because-
Hopefully y'all heard me.
Because I will say it
Prior
now,
to it.
he's got a passenger in the back of his head right now.
Oh,
That was the despair. The monk had a passenger in his head. When he failed his role, the passenger jumped into him. And the passenger in his head is saying, "You're okay with this."
hopefully y'all heard me when I said, you put a friggin' bomb on my ship!
Did we?
Just to give you an idea, think Legion. The
Can
fat
yeah.
man.
Can I make a perception roll on?
To be
This
fair,
is weird.
if anyone would anyone really be that concerned if I brought a bomb onto the ship?
I will give you a perception with that.
Okay, because I'm actually glad it's only a bomb, because the things I was thinking of was really worse, because I wasn't gonna look at it with any quintessence, because I thought it might come into me.
I thought it was a mummy,
I
honestly.
thought mummy, spirit, something you don't want to look
Go
at
ahead
in
and
quintessence.
give me
I was fine if it was a mummy!
Did I hear
it's,
that?
a bomb, though.
it's 3 purple.
3 purple.
And you can do a perception roll as well if you want.
Or something like
A bomb on my dear Gallivant?
Okay, so
Gallivant, my love!
Well, that's the
It's
whole.
in danger!
That's probably why you're okay. That it's off the ship now.
2, 1.
Oh, my goodness.
Purple.
I succeeded.
Blue.
With a little bit of strain.
I succeeded.
Okay,
Or a
go
critical
ahead
hit.
I
and,
succeeded.
but with 4th threat. You succeed. You immediately turn to the.
Boom!
3 threat.
You turn to their conversation, and you're like, bomb. Go ahead and give me a
Oh, no.
discipline roll
No,
against his discipline.
no.
Here's your red.
Would you like some? Do you need some red?
Artemis, and I'm gonna need you to
I
roll a
need some
perception check also. Because you're probably also listening to what's going on.
No.
As all of
I'm
a
in the
sudden
ship
you're
still.
like,
With her,
Yeah.
everyone came up because
Bomb.
we unloaded something.
and you hear them say bomb with a triumph, which is why you don't have to worry about any discipline.
Okay.
No despair.
No
Just a
despair.
lot of failure.
2 successes, 1 success, and a triumph.
Ooh, what if there's full
So
damage? Yeah.
immediately, and by the way, you're okay with the fact that they're saying there's a bomb and they're super calm, and you like pod person up with them. You're not as bad as these two are with their spares.
One
Now
of us.
the
One
entity
of
can
us.
jump between them freely.
All right. In that case, I have a question for him.
Okay.
Do we have any business in Quintessence that we need to stay here for?
Ooh, that's a good, bland, shade-free question.
Come and play with us.
Not yet.
No.
So Peter, you turn around, hear
'Cause
them
I
scream
kinda wanna go to
bomb,
Casablanca.
and then they get ridiculously calm. Like we're talking the calmest you've ever seen them in their entire fucking lives. Even you kind of like in the corner of your eye see something like shoot out of his eyeballs into her eyeballs and back into her eyeballs, and when he joins in, they both eyeball him with it, and you're just like, did I see something? You know when you see that little like black blur in the corner of your eye, and you're like, what was that?
Is it? Okay, so
Good job, Eric. The one time. The one time.
Again.
would this be something that I could recognize as primal, or is it a different type of magic?
It's ethermancy, but you'd have to use ethermancy to try to identify it.
Okay.
You feel like you could safely open up to it. What's the worst that happens? I only got one dark side point over there to use.
I have been specifically not doing anything
Yes.
safe or magical in front of that box for a reason.
You're afraid it's the Ark of the Covenant, I know.
I'm like the only character that's not in this conversation right now.
Yes.
So, is it bouncing between them, and is there any connection between them and the box?
Nothing with the box. The box is
Nothing
now
with the
off the
box is
ship.
now
The
off the
chain
ship.
is
The
dangling
chain-
down, and the guy
And
is.
they're still weird.
They're oddly
they're still-
calm.
Okay, yeah, that was the thing.
They're calm. Oddly enough, that's
How do I
what's
know?
weird is they're calm.
Right. Okay.
We look
But the
normal.
box
I'm
is off
not
the ship.
fidgeting!
Nobody's on fire.
They're on their Adderall.
But the box is out.
The box has just left the ship.
Okay.
She just yelled bomb, and now all of a sudden she's calm.
Okay.
She's
So-
like, bomb, cherry bomb.
Firework arrow.
And now she's
That'd
like,
be a
yes,
great
the box is
arrow
off
for
the
that.
ship.
Oh, yeah,
Just
we
in
can
case
do
if we
that.
get lost, I just
Weird.
go like, okay, gather up your.
Okay, so what is the magic roll against?
It's 2 purple. I mean, what, are you wanting to see what's going on with
No,
your ether
I want
eyes?
to, no, I want to know.
Look with your
I want
ether
to use my previous
eyes.
experience in magic to try and figure out if I know what this is.
Okay. So basically, it's going to be 3 purple.
3 purple.
And you're purposely not
I am
opening yourself to
purposely
ether.
not
So there
opening
will be a
myself to-
black dice as you're kind of guarding yourself as you're using your ethermancy to like flash back through your memory and mind and, you know, see if your parents ever.
Oh, snap.
Seeing if your parents ever met, like, you know, some kind of dark ethermancer or something.
Or like before I actually knew I was magical, going through something like this.
Arts and science and defense
'Cause
against
this
the
is
dark
a-
arts.
Okay, so far the only ammo I have is a flaming arrow.
Boom, baby!
Regular bolts as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we've got 4 failure and 2 advantage and a
It has
triumph.
certain marks to show what type.
Immediately,
Yeah, so
you are
this
you
one
are
has a
using your
little
primalness
string
to
with flame.
flash through your brain.
Stuff
Anything
on
you've
it,
ever
So that I
heard.
know that it explodes.
You are
Give
getting
me
the
more time, I
idea.
can make some more gimmick arrows for you.
We'll give them a
Okay.
second. You are getting the idea that there may be what
wizard?
you've heard in your lore, probably like old wives' tales in Russia, because you know these things happen. That there's a ether wraith or ether ghost.
Baba Yaga.
Baba Yaga. that is doing something. Maybe it's using Eric as a host. Maybe it put a spell on him, and the 3 of them are under its whammy. And you did hear the word bomb. And you're looking at them as they're oddly silent. And creepily, all of a sudden, the 3 of them turn and look at you.
One, come and play with us, Peter.
Now, granted, you guys are just cool with the bomb being dropped off.
Yeah.
That you delivered the package.
Cornfields.
But everybody's gonna die.
Are they?
Or maybe they are going to use it.
Where else would the
Or
ether
maybe
bomb
they're just
go?
going to keep it here for safekeeping because it shouldn't be out in the world.
Yeah, maybe that's why someone shot it out of another ship, because nobody should have an ether bomb. Even though you do recall in the back of your head, you hear the scratching thought of, I heard the thrumming.
Why do you think I
Increasing
was
in
an
intensity.
orphan?
Oh. And pretty much at the moment where the 3 of you look over at Peter, and Peter has this invasion of the body snatchers moment. You look at them realizing there's a weird nimbus around them. You're not using your ether eyes, but you're now acknowledging the 3 of them have this weird nimbus of calm okayness. Except for these 2 that are like shooting each other's spooky dark eyes.
Also, all of this is very disconcerting for this group because there
Yes.
is nothing that is calm or okay about this group.
I
As
can force people to be calm.
as
Yeah,
all of a
That's
sudden
the thing.
I'm
The
like the
camera-
only one out of this
the
conversation.
camera pans in on our ethermancer's face, and you just see the
Yeah,
darkness
this is
of his
Jewish,
eyes.
not Russian, but close enough.
Oh yeah, the Daibuk. Yeah. The
Okay,
disembodied soul of a dead person. That would be perfect. Yeah.
Crawling
So
to
it's think almost like Shadow King from X-Men, you know. There's a ether entity either inside his head or controlling him from remotely. You think possibly inside his head because it accidentally got pulled in during the whole mind wipe. Because, you know, all of a sudden off camera there's flashbacks of when the old monk touched you on the forehead, that was to erase the conversation. The monk botched his roll too, which dumped him in your head out of the monk, and that's why the monk passed out back in.
Stupid psychic
Casablanca.
STDs.
And as the camera pans into your iris, your dark iris, it fades to black, and that's a good place to wrap it up there.
Aww.
I
And all of a sudden, the new guy, you hear his voice going, "Hey, what's going on, guys?"
What's going on, guys?
At least I'm not seeing all of this.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Actually, that's
I
probably
actually
for the
crawled
best.
into the
Back into your
room where
butter
I
bowl.
was
Back
with her.
into your
No,
butter
I
bowl.
crawled back into where I was with her, sorting out the tools.
you're like, I'm gonna go back to the tool cabinet.
Yep.
And that is the place to wrap it up there.
And then I found a bunch of
About
stuff.
2 hours in.
Hmm.
Ooh, cobweb. That would work great for streams.